One of the big problem with today's education is that they're trying to mass produce. So they are not considering individuals' innate drive, rather than they are promising that, hey, I can make you whatever you want. Yeah, like if institution thinks making somebody whatever they want by providing a certificate, of course you are able to do that. But just having a certificate, you are not going to become an entrepreneur. Just having a certificate, you are not going to become a strategist. Just having a certificate, you are not going to become a surgeon, for that matter, or astronaut. You have to practice. You need to do apprenticeship, internship, and you need to prove that you are useful for that particular industry or profession. To be excellent in any profession, first of all, you have to have a passion or inclination in those subjects, and you should feel you are at home when you are practicing those subjects. So now you see very clearly your success is tied up with your passion or your comfort level with the subject, okay? Not with the certificate. So the question now comes is, how do you identify what's your at-home feeling? What is your innate strength? What is your natural strengths? How do you identify them? Of course, in a Vedic time, in a Gurukul system, they had this fantastic way in which address this issue. We know that in a Vedic time, when you're 4-year age, you go to the Gurukul, you spend till you're 14 or 16 age. That's your period of acquiring education. When you go to the Gurukul, the Rishi, the teacher of that Gurukul, that education institution, they have this ability to identify the person. What do I mean? They have a process, a framework, which they used to use to identify personalities or gunas or the type of person you are. Okay, the same guna is used in Ayurveda, which is medicinal side of knowledge, Vedic knowledge. How do you cure a body? That's a medicinal side of it. And they use the same framework to kind of impart knowledge as well. For example, like 3 distinct gunas like Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Okay, just if you want to simplify further, Vata is air, Pitta is a fire, or Kapha is a liquid water. Now, we further simplify it just to understand for our today's, for example, fire. Fire is basically stand for doer, like we use in our colloquial language that, hey, this guy has got a fire to do something. Okay, just imagine this person is a doer. He wants to do it. He loves achievements. That's a one kind of guna or a person or a quality. Another is air. If you see, the knowledge is directly connected with air. So the person who is hungry to learn or seeks new knowledge or always interested in knowing new things, this person, air quality is very high in this person. So likewise, the last one, water. What is the qualities? Simply, it helps to grow things, and it nurtures and it holds, and this binding quality. Okay, this kind of person is very good with organizing people. He's a very good people person. He used emotional connection or a hook to interact with people. The air, which is represent knowledge, he used information, knowledge to bind with or hook the people. The first person, which is fire, the action person, he always used action or a decision making to hook the people. Okay, so now you can see 3 distinct qualities. Every individual, every one of us, we have all 3 in us, but the two qualities are always dominant. Okay, so what does it mean? Three elements are these qualities we all have, and we consider what are those two, the first and second dominant qualities you particularly have. So when we kind of map it out, so now you can see like doer, which is fire first, and knowledge, which is air. That's a one type of personality. Then you have fire, water. This is a second. And third would be like air, which is knowledge, and fire, which is doing. Then you have air, water, water, fire, water, air. So now you got it, 6 types of personalities. So in a Gurukul, once we identify among these, whatever, 60 students, these 10 belongs to this, or this 15 belongs to that, this 7 belongs to this, or 20 belongs to this particular category. According to that, we used to impart knowledge. For example, the first one, which is like fire and air, the dominant is fire, backed by air. This person is a doer. Okay, he always enjoys doing things, taking action, jumping on the situation and acting upon the situation. So we generally used to teach him in those days. Now the days have changed. Most of the time we used to teach him the Kaleri fighting and all the martial arts, like where the action is very important, is basically suitable for that person. So we used to teach martial art along with reading and writing. Okay, basic reading and writing, and basic mathematics. Along with that, they have to do additionally, which is their primary, practicing martial art. And eventually these guys are go and become a military head, or they're a part of the military. So they serve in military. So likewise, come to the second one, which is fire and water. So now again, the fire person is very action oriented, but backed by water. Okay, what does it mean? Water is very much like a resource. Okay, so he take actions or he does certain things based on, which is backed by resources. That means he will be, and he's really good with selling. Okay, he can sell resources, he can sell goods, and he can be really good merchant. Especially he will be very good selling resources, products. Okay, so this person is given knowledge related vanijja, which is commerce. And the third person, which is like first is air, backed by fire. So air, as we know, air stands for knowledge, and fire is basically churning out and coming with insights. That means this person is acquiring knowledge and he is producing insights. So this person is really good for research-oriented jobs. He can be in a teaching industry, he can do a lot of research, and he can write insights, and he can do strategy. So the person who has got quality like air and backed by fire are the very good people who are good for strategy, consultancy, advisory, or even lawyers, judge. Wherever there is a lot of reading, knowledge is required to come to a decision, these guys always excel. So in a Vedic time, we used to teach them Shastras, which are philosophy, Vedas, literature to them. Those students are, of course, they learn a basic reading and writing, and then they concentrate on reading philosophies, literature. Now come to the fourth one, which is air backed by water. So water is a resource, air is knowledge. Okay. This person is very good talking about a product, any kind of resource. Okay. And he know how to use a resource because he used his first dominant thing to gain knowledge about this resource. Then he used a resource to convince. So these guys are very good in knowledge, but knowledge related to any resource. These guys can be advisors, related objects, related resources, related a physical thing. Okay. So in a Gurukul, we used to teach these kind of people mostly about art and sculpture. They are good with creating sculptures because they're using various materials and they're applying knowledge to create something out of that. So again, the sculptor is a creator using resources. That could be craftsmen, that could be a builder. Now come to a fifth one, which is water first and backed by fire. So water, we know resource, fire, we know doing. So these students are really good to churn the resource and you make some kind of product or a service, okay? And they are very good in terms of converting resources into some kind of actionable or sellable goods or a product or service. So generally, these guys are you can say material scientists, alchemists, and these guys are farmers also, like they are using resources to produce food, okay? So these guys are very good with, or they feel at home if they do something using resource to produce products. And lastly, which is water, which is resource, and then you're backed by air, which is knowledge. So resource and knowledge. So this is something you can say that mostly R&D who are doing research and development are using resource, or a resource become the base of your knowledge. Now you can very clearly see that the 6 types are 6 different personalities driven by 6 major qualities and minor qualities.